Good morning, kids. It's story time, and today we're going to do a book about Clifford. I love books about Clifford. They are so fun to read. He always gets in trouble, but this is about when she first got Clifford, before he even got to get big. So let's see what happens. All right, this is about Clifford. It says, "Hi, everybody. I'm Elizabeth, and I have a dog named Clifford, and he's a big red dog. Yesterday, my friend Martha said that she got her dog from a fancy pet store. And she said, 'Where did you get yours?' And I told her how I got Clifford. I told her that once I lived in the big city. We really didn't even have a yard. And one day in our apartment building, a man down the hall said that his dog had had puppies. And would I like to have one? And I did want one. So we went to look at the puppies, but there was one that was very, very small. The mom looked very proud, but this puppy was very small. And the man said, 'I don't think you want that puppy. He's way too small. He'll probably be sickly.' To see her holding that tiny little puppy and see the other puppies, they're much bigger, but she's holding the tiny puppy, and that's the one she fell in love with. You know, Molly was pretty tiny, and people said, 'Oh, she's too small,' but she's done great. She's full of energy. I named my puppy Clifford, and he was so tiny that I fed him with the doll baby bottle. We even got him a collar, and the collar was too big, so here he is with the collar, and here she is feeding him with a bottle. Don't think she really needed to do that, but sometimes it's fun to baby our puppies, isn't it? Sometimes we dress our dogs up into little clothes. They look like babies. That collar was too big for Clifford. It just pulled him down. And then when he began to eat dog food, he would fall in the dog dish. And sometimes we would lose him in our apartment. So here he is falling in the dog dish. And look at here, he got lost in the dad's shoes. And you can see a little arf, 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 arf. He got lost in the shoes. Isn't that cute? I love it. Daddy said Clifford was too small. He didn't think he'd live through the winter, and that made me so sad. That night I told Clifford I wish he'd grow to be a big, healthy dog, and I loved him. So here she is in bed telling tiny little Clifford that she loved him and she wanted him to grow big. And in the morning she said, "I think Clifford looked bigger. I don't know, but he seemed bigger. And he does look a little bigger, doesn't he?" Wonder what happened. He seemed to have had an easier time to get his dog dish, and the collar fit him just perfect. In fact, Daddy got home and he said, "I think that collar's too small. Goodness gracious, did that dog grow a little bit? What happened?" Clifford was growing. Oh, he's growing. By bedtime, Clifford's tiny basket seemed too small for him to lie in. So I let him sleep on my pillow again. Look, he's too big for his bed already. That little puppy is growing. And that was a mistake because he took over the bed. And then after he ate his food, he acted like he still wanted more. And Mom said, "Goodness gracious, that dog is growing." I think they're feeding him something. I decided to take Clifford for a walk at the corner. And when I got to the end of the street and around the corner, I saw a big dog coming. And I thought, "Oh, I better pick up Clifford so that big dog won't hurt him." So see, she sees that big dog. But then when I looked at Clifford and the dog, I thought, well, Clifford looks like he's plenty big for that dog. Gracious, Clifford's grown. I forgot how big he was. So she's not even worried anymore. Clifford's plenty big. So I ran home and I said, "Mom, Clifford's getting so big. Had our apartment door grown smaller? Because when we got there, I didn't think I could get Clifford through the door." Dad couldn't believe it. He said, "We're going to have to put Clifford in the garden to sleep." Poor Clifford. He's getting too big. Well, when we put him in the garden, the neighbors said that they could see this big dog through the windows and it scared them and they were upset. Poor Clifford. So, in fact, all the neighbors started to notice him. They called the police and they came to see Clifford. And they said Clifford would have to go. But how are we even going to get him through the door? Oh my goodness, poor Clifford. He had not done anything wrong. He just grew, right? So there was just one way to get him out of our garden. And then we used a moving truck. And my uncle said, just bring Clifford out to the country where I live. And so we put him in the moving truck. Look how they had to do it with that big machine. And then they put him in the moving truck, and he's too big for the truck. And they're going to her uncle, who has a place in the country. But I was so sad. I missed my puppy. And my puppy missed me. Look at Clifford, he's crying. Your puppy would miss you if you left him or sent him away. That wasn't very nice, was it? One day we got a surprise. My uncle wanted Daddy to come work for him in the country, so we were going to have to move. Clifford was waiting for me when we got there. He had not stopped growing. He was still really, really, really big. But we were all together in the country where he had lots and lots of room. Yay. So I said to Martha, that's how I got my dog. Now tell me again, how did you get your dog? And Martha said, oh, forget it. That was too great a story. So there she is. She said, I got my dog from the pet store, but your dog has quite a story. He grew into the big red dog. All right, I'm going to let y'all go. I love you, and I'll talk to you Wednesday for story time. Mwah.